Announcement lang po, pag nagsasagot na po yung contestant is, if you were to win Mr. or Miss Intramurals, how would you celebrate your victory? Again, if you were to win Mr. or Miss Intramurals, how would you celebrate your victory?
Thank you for that wonderful question. I believe that I will celebrate my victory with my classmates, my family, my friends, my teachers, my coaches, and then to Lord. Because I wouldn't be here without them. That's all. Thank you very much.
What a wonderful answer, Ms. Francine. You can go back to the stage. Let me call on contestant number 1, Jairo Speñano. Your question is, what do you think is the most famous sport in our school and why? Once again, your question is, what do you think is the most famous sport in our school and why?
Oh. Para sa akin, ang pinaka-famous na sport sa ating paaralan ay arnis. Kasi ang arnis ay isa sa pinaka-sikat na laro sa Pilipinas. Ang arnis din ay pinakahindigan ng mga estudyante at ang mga teacher at guro at teacher at estudyante sinusuportahan ang ganitong klaseng sports sa lahat ng mga kompetsyon katulad ng NCR palarong pambansa.
Wonderful answer, Jairus. Excuse me po, pag nagsasagot po yung contestant, huwag niyo naman po silang tawanan. Okay. On to our next candidate, candidate number 2, Kirsten Hubilo. Kamusta ka? Okay, choose one. Your question is, how can you encourage your fellow students to support this kind of events in our school? Once again, your question is, how can you encourage your fellow students to support this kind of events in our school?
Thank you for that wonderful question. Encouraging students to join these kinds of events in our school, it would emphasize school spirit and promoting the fun and benefits of participation, and it can strengthen friendship and leadership. Thank you.
What a beautiful coming from Kirsten Hubilo. Let me call on contestant number 2, Prince Rodove. Your question is, how do you motivate your teammates to do their best during the games and this competition? Once again, your question is, how do you motivate your teammates to do their best during the games and this competition?
I motivate them by giving them words of encouragement. Whenever they're feeling down or they forgot a line or two, I remind them.
What a beautiful answer coming from Prince Rodove. Next up, we have Samantha Ruth Regalia. Your question is, what advice would you give to the future Mr. and Miss Intramurals contestants? Again, your question is, what advice would you give to the future Mr. and Miss Intramurals contestants?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. I would advise the future Mr. and Miss Intramurals contestants, first of all, to have time management, second, sportsmanship, and third, to have leadership. Why? You gotta have time management because as a student, we have to balance our academic life and our practices in this pageant. Second, you gotta have sportsmanship because what is Intrams without sportsmanship? Third is you gotta have leadership. You gotta work with your partner. You gotta lead them if they can. That's all. Thank you.
Beautiful answer coming from Samantha Rivera. Let us call on contestant number Simon Salinda. Your question is, if you had to pick one sport in intramurals that you wish to compete in, which one would it be and why? Once again, your question is, if you had to pick one sport in intramurals that you wish to compete in, which one would it be and why?
Thank you for that wonderful question. The sport that I will choose is football because it's unique and then it's popular in America, but it is fun to play and it can help us to help balance our physical and mental health, and this can help our balance and strength to fulfill our friendship to others. And
That's a beautiful answer coming from Simon Salinda. Next up, contestant number 4, Harry Itaco.
Go girl!
Your question is, for you, what makes Mr. and Miss Intramurals different from other pageants or competitions? Once again, your question is, for you, what makes Mr. and Miss Intramurals different from other pageants or competitions?
Thank you for that wonderful question. For me, personally, I think that Mr. and Miss Intramurals are different from pageants and other competitions because Mr. and Miss Intramurals, you will cooperate with your classmates and teachers and create friendship and camaraderie. But if it's like a pageant or a competition, you won't be that close to the people around you. Thank you for that question, and thank you.
Thank you so, Calorie. That was a beautiful answer you made. Next up, we have contestant number 4, Matt Louis Lee. Grabe yung support. Nagdasal mo. For your question, what are your thoughts on sportsmanship and how do you demonstrate it during the intramurals? Once again, your question is, what are your thoughts on sportsmanship and how do you demonstrate it during intramurals?
Firstly, thank you for that wonderful question. And I want to say sportsmanship is not all about showing skill and talent, it's all about showing respect to others that is competing in the contest. And sportsmanship is not all about focusing in beauty or any kind of skills that can help in the competition. It's all about how you can use your creativity at best.
What a beautiful answer coming from Matt Louis. Next up, we have contestant number 5, Samantha Decano. question is, what impact do you hope to make in the school community through intramurals? Once again, your question is, what impact do you hope to make in the school community through intramurals?
Thank you for that thought-provoking question. The impact I wish to make on the school community through intramurals is I hope that every student who watches us candidates feel or have a foster of change in them when they watch us. I hope that my impact is that they will feel inspired to change and to foster teamwork amongst one another and to have camaraderie and cooperation. And I thank you.
Next up, contestant number 5, Josh Valdizno. Your question is, how do you balance your academics and preparing for intramurals events? So again, your question is, how do you balance your academics and preparing for intramural events?
Thank you for the wonderful question. I balance it with time management and focusing also on training in subjects while maintaining my peak performance in this competition. So, yes. And I thank you.
What a beautiful answer coming from Valdizno. Next up, candidate number 6, Seska Liwanag. Hello? Okay, let me choose. Your question is, who is your biggest supporter throughout the intramurals journey? Once again, your question is, who is your biggest supporter throughout your intramurals journey?
Thank you for that wonderful question. I believe that my biggest supporter during this intramurals is none other than my partner, Nathaniel. Not only did he help me know more about this intramurals, but also rather he motivated me to do more and to know how to execute everything perfectly. And that would be all.
What a beautiful answer coming from Seska Liwanag. Let us call on Nathaniel Quintos. Your question is, if you could pick one word to describe your intramurals experience, what would it be? Again, your question is, if you could pick one word to describe your intramurals experience, what would it be?
Thank you for that wonderful question. If I could pick a word that describes this competition, it would be unforgettable because this is my first time joining a pageant. Thank you, that's all.
What a short and sweet answer coming from Nathaniel Quintos. Let us move on to candidate number 7, Alea de Choza.
Suntukin mo!
Your question is, what do you think is the essence of Mr. and Miss Intramurals title? Once again, your question is, what do you think is the essence of Mr. and Miss Intramurals title?
The essence of winning the title Mr. and Miss Intramurals is not just the title and crown itself, but the experience it gives to the winner. The shared laughters, the exchange of ideas, the possibility of understanding, being able to support and care for each other. For me, the most important essence of winning the title Mr. and Miss Intramurals is the experience that we candidates have gone through with this event. Once again, I am the Choza Alea Regine, your candidate number 7 from grade 11 Antarctica. Thank you!
Your question is, how do you stay fit and ready for the physical challenges during intramurals? Once again, your question is, how do you stay fit and ready for the physical challenges during intramurals?
Of course, to stay fit for the challenges that I will face in the intramurals, I would need to develop a good mental. Because I believe that a good mental can help you overcome any difficulties because the mind has the power over the body. And I would just like to clarify that being fit does not mean you have a good physical aesthetic. It's in your endurance and eagerness to succeed like I am.
Your question is, what qualities do you think a Mr. or Miss Intramurals should have? Once again, your question is, what qualities do you think a Mr. or Miss Intramurals should have?
Thank you for that wonderful question. I think Mr. and Miss Intramurals should have
Mind is overpowered to the body.
sportsmanship, leadership, also skills.
Nice answer coming from Mario de los Reyes. Now let me call on candidate number 8, Elsie Calajao. Your question is, what motivated you to join the Mr. or Miss Intramurals competition? Again, your question is, what motivated you to join the Mr. or Miss Intramurals competition?
Thank you for that wonderful question. And before that, I would like to say good afternoon to everyone participating today. I am Elsie Miguel, representing Grade A Central America. By the way, shout out to America. Now, back to the question. What motivated me to participate in this competition was that I wanted to experience what it feels like to be in the shoes of those participating in this pageant. I remember when I helped my classmate who last year was representing us in when we were grade 7. When I saw how fun it was, how a lot was going on, I thought to myself, what would that feel like if that was me instead of him? Well, now today, I've seen what it felt like, and it's amazing. Of course, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of, you worry that you might mess up, but then there's the excitement, the adrenaline that is present in there that makes it an extraordinary experience. And that is my motivation. Once again, I'm S.J. Miguel Calajao, Grade A Central America. Thank you.
Let's move forward to candidate number 9, Ashley Nicole Salanyo. Your question is, what sets you apart from other contestants in this year's competition? Once again, your question is, what sets you apart from other contestants in this year's competition?
Thank you, Todd.
Hanapin nyo na yung grade 7 na mag-perform. So, hindi ba yun?
Thank you for that full and wonderful question. What sets me apart from that is an interesting question. As you can see, I am not in a well state. I am coughing. Therefore, ako may ko yung ibang contestant is wala. Definitely, it is not a flex, but it is something that I should be proud of. Because instead of backing down because of a simple cough or fever that has been holding back my potential from the recent intramurals practices, I am standing here, proud, determined, and very proud to share the beauty inside me and out. And that is all. Thank you very much.
Beautiful answer going from Ashley Nicole Solano. Now let me call on contestant number 9, Thomas Nana. For your question, what strategies do you use to stay focused during the competition? Once again, your question is what strategies do you use to stay focused during the competition?
So thank you for the wonderful question. The strategies I did in this competition is I did positive visual thinking and also reminding myself of my goals and the hard work I put through this. But the game along the way. So thank you.
Beautiful answer coming from Thomas Nana. Lastly, let me call on candidate number 10, Kyla Haynes Beltran. Your question is, how can you promote the national sports in our school? Once again, your question is, how can you promote the national sports in our school?
Thank you for that wonderful question. For me, I would promote the national sports in our school by introducing the descriptions, the backgrounds for on the given sports or in the entitled sports the entitled or national sports given to represent for this kind of event. And that will be all.
What a beautiful answer coming from Kyla Haynes Beltran. Last but not least, let me call on Caleb Zinco. Your question is, as a Mr. or Miss Intramurals representative, how do you handle both victories and setbacks during the competition? Once again, your question is, as a Mr. or Miss Intramurals representative, how do you handle both victories and setbacks during the competition?
First things first, I handle victories as a celebration. I accept it and then I celebrate it because I'm happy that I won. But for setbacks, I try to learn from it and put advice to future Mr. and Mrs. Intrams competitors. That will be all.
What a beautiful answer coming from Caleb Singh. Everybody give it up to our contestants as they did so very well in answering